Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Hennessey Venom F5 at Golden Max in its multiplayer season in Asphalt 9. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel, as well as the Purple Team Discord. The links to those will be in the description, and I hope you enjoy these races. Now, I chose this race right here to be the first one in the video because it kind of shows two attributes of this car that are kind of opposite to each other. First of all, you have its instability. Yeah. That happened. There was nothing I could do about that. It's just one of those cars that doesn't like to wall ride very well, and sometimes when you land from a jump, it just goes on its side, and when there's a wall right there, there's nothing you can really do about it, and you die. The other thing about this car, though, is that if you can drive it properly, it can be extremely quick. This is, after all, the new king of the game, undisputedly, and I felt like this race would really show it off. Now, I'm sure what all of you are expecting me to talk about in this video is the special event, and I am going to do that, but I am still going to make a dedicated video about the statistics of the event, like how many tokens you need to spend in order to get this car and to max it out, based on the calculations that we now have all the information we need for. Because the Aventador SVJ Unleashed event came out, we know that its packs are only 750 tokens, which is honestly a lot better than the 900 that we were expecting, considering some other cars that are worse than that one were 900 tokens. So a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Here, I rocket past this guy at the very last second to take the first position by a tenth of a second. And that was even after a wreck. Now we're going to be testing this car on San Francisco. So back to speaking about the special event. You will need to have spent a minimum of $20 for two Legend Pass cars, the Murcielago from previously, and the Elva, which is the current season's car. After that, you would need to completely play out the Murcielago car hunt as well as the 4GT car hunt to gold out those two cars, which you could technically do for free. Then you will need to 3-star the Onyx, the Elva, the Pagani, as well as the CX-75, and after that, all that is left is to unlock the Aventador SVJ. Its Unleashed event already gives like half of the blueprints required in order to unlock it, so going this route will actually be cheaper than starring up one of the other cars again. In my video about the event, I will be going through how many tokens it would take in order to get all these cars to their required ranks in maybe 2 or 3 different situations, because obviously I know that some people might already have some of those cars start up, and some people might not. So again, there is likely to be a range like there have been for the past special events of how many tokens and money you would need to spend in order to get the car, but most likely the majority of the video is going to be spent figuring out exactly how many tokens it would take from scratch to get to what I just outlined and showing you the calculations that I did, so then you can figure out for yourself how much it would cost in your situation, and it would then always cost lower than the number I calculate. So stay tuned for that coming soon. Most likely it'll be this week, but I can't promise anything as I am really getting into the thick of school at this point, which is unfortunate, but of course I'm still going to try to upload at least 2 videos a week, preferably 3. So at the beginning of this race here, the other Venom hit the car at the beginning, which I think is an actual tactic that people can use on this track in order to slow down the other player. Then I pass him before the turn, then he passes me after it. This was a pretty good race overall, I would say. I was kind of afraid that he was going to try to 360 me through here, since he did try to mess me up at the beginning, I'm almost completely certain about, but I was able to get past him. Then I made sure to get Shockwave so I could Shockwave over that part without losing a bunch of speed, and after that point, I just tried to not wreck, not land toward the sides of the road. I went way up in the air, gaining a ton of airspeed, Shockwaved off here, didn't fall off the side thankfully, and flew ahead to finally cross the finish line without him even on the map. Now, in this next race, we are up against Is That a Supra, the name of which you might remember from some of my clips or my streams, and this became quite the close one. Recently, I made a multiplayer video about the Jesko. The races were given to me by credit card. It was at Max Pro. Some of the races were in the China version, some were in the regular version. Anyway, in that video, I made like a little tribute kind of montage thing at the beginning of some of his best stunts and clips in that car, and basically saying that I'm going to miss the Jesko. What I meant by that was I'm going to miss it as the king of the game. It's still going to be the second best car in the game, and a lot of people rightly pointed out in the comments that it still is going to be the king for free-to-play players, and that is completely true. It's still going to be my best car, and I'm probably still going to try to star it up, although now that it's going to be removed from S-Class Elite, probably it would be better for me to star up the Tuatara, but we'll see. In any case, yes, it will still be the king for free-to-play players in Asphalt 9. But the Venom is an objectively better car. It's just got better drifting radius, better drifting speed, it's faster, it's better just all around. It's like a Jesko on steroids. I stay close to Zeta Super for most of the race. Unfortunately, I'm not able to pass him toward the last second, but now we're moving on to another race, which is on Himalayas, where I'm going to be facing Supreme Pepega. Now, I knew this was also a race I wanted to put in the video because this track, Frozen Route, is definitely one of the best tracks in the game for this car, and really any car that has a great top speed. Toward the beginning, it's best in most high top speed cars to drift and get that yellow nitro toward the beginning so that you have some speed by the time you go off that jump there. And then usually again I try to stay for Shockwave and go off to the left of that ramp to get as much speed as I can so I can have my full speed when I go along here and then do this wall ride. There's just a big sequence of things. Unfortunately, I went a little bit too high off the left of that ramp. I've had so many times where I've gone too low off of it, and then I've just done 2 really low barrels and wrecked on the other side because I didn't go high enough. Didn't want that to happen, went too high. It's a bit tough on that one to get it exactly right, especially when you're barreling up on it with as much speed as this thing has. I go off that there, and now, well, unfortunately, I do hit the wall a little bit here, and that is where I begin to see the other Venom starting to catch up, but this car is able to get up to its top speed very quickly, and I'm able to cross the finish line in first place, even though I do get a little bit flustered toward the end because of that little mishap after that barrel back there, but it all turned out well, and now we come full circle with another race on Nevada. For my general review of this car, you guys already know what I'm going to say. It is definitely the new king of the game. I had a lot of fun driving it. Now, even though it drives super well, it does take quite a learning curve. I would say that when I did my max test of this car, the races in that probably took some of the longest to actually get really good runs in it. Because it has so much potential, you really have to learn how to harness that potential, and that is often easier said than done. But if you have the 60,000 tokens or something required to get this car and the 2 Legend Pass cars, I would absolutely recommend going for it. The Jesko was king of the game for 2 years, and so really, if you have that many tokens now, what else are you going to be saving them for? This is the absolute king right now of this game. If you can get it, I would say completely go for it, because we are very unlikely to get another car this good anytime soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least another year before we get anything that can even compete with this one, like get very similar times on tracks. Now, for those of us who cannot get this car, which is probably 99.9% of the population of Asphalt, if not more, definitely keep trying to star up your Jesko and your Tuatara if you have those cars. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!